Wow, just wow. A federal district court judge just spanked Hunter Biden and Joe Biden for statements made about the tax case in California. Yes, Hunter Biden received a pardon from Joe Biden, but you're not going to believe what this federal district court judge in California just said about Hunter Biden. You're going to want to hear it when we come right back. Hey folks, I'm Mark Smith, host of the Four Boxes Diner, proud American gun owner, constitutional attorney, member of the United States Supreme Court Bar, and I'm proud to say a nominee for a 2025 Gundy's Award in the category of Top Voices of the 2A, of the Second Amendment. If you haven't voted, but I guess you can vote every day actually for the Gundys. So I appreciate if you're voting for the Gundys every day or you're voting for the Gundys somewhat, I would appreciate your vote for Mark Smith, Four Boxes Diner in the category of Top Voices of the 2A. I think we can break through this year and win it. We've been nominated, been a finalist in a bunch of categories the last bunch of years. Haven't won one yet, but I still think we got a chance this year. So fingers crossed, we're going to light some candles and let's go for it. All right, folks, so here's the story. Very exciting news. We have been covering this Hunter Biden thing a little bit more recently because I think it's very important for you to understand the legal procedure because as we've talked about, the Second Amendment is part of the legal tapestry of the United States. So I want you to understand not just the Second Amendment, but you got to understand a little other aspects, I should say, of the American constitutional law and American law generally. And one of the constitutional powers, of course, is the president's power to pardon people, which Joe Biden just issued a pardon to his son, Hunter Biden. Now, this video, though, is about something a little bit different, related but different, and that is that Trump-appointed judge to the federal bench, Judge Mark Scarsi in the Central District of California out there in federal court in California, who presided over the guilty plea by Hunter Biden for tax-related charges. And as a reminder, Hunter Biden pled guilty to tax-related tax evasion, tax fraud, tax-related issues in various ways out there in California. Put a link to this decision down below. You can check it yourself. And of course, in contrast, Hunter Biden was found guilty by a jury of gun-related charges in the District of Delaware. So he had the Delaware gun case and the California tax case Hunter Biden did. All this has gone away because Joe Biden gave his son a blanket 11-year pardon for anything under the sun involving federal law, including but not limited to the gun charge and the tax charge. Nevertheless, as soon as Joe Biden issued a press release, apparently the lawyers for Hunter Biden filed a request of Judge Mark Scarsi to get rid of this case, but they did it with providing a link to a press release by President Joe Biden when they were supposed to provide a formal copy, or at least a certified copy, I believe, or some sort of formal certificate of the pardon document itself to dismiss the case. Instead, they submitted a link, a hyperlink, to the White House press release. Well, this gave rise to Judge Mark Scarsi raising some real issues and made some pointedly negative comments about both Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, specifically telling the world that although the Constitution provides Joe Biden as president the power to pardon people, it doesn't give Joe Biden the power to rewrite history. Wow. Big statement by a federal judge against Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. Here's some of the things that happened. I think the language from Judge Scarsi speaks for itself. This is where Judge Scarsi begins his comment in an opinion on this request to accept the pardon of Hunter Biden and dismiss the case. Judge Scarsi writes, on December 1st, 2024, defendant Robert Hunter Biden provided notice that Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of the United States of America, issued a full and unconditional pardon to Mr. Biden. Rather than providing a true and correct copy of the pardon with the notice, Mr. Biden provided a hyperlink to a White House press release presenting a statement by the president regarding the pardon and the purported text of the pardon. Now, this court has previously noted its disapproval of this practice. The president's statement illustrates the reason for the court's disapproval, as representations contained therein stand, listen carefully folks, stand in tension with the case record. Wow. Now, federal judges are very subtle. They're very clear, very precise with their language on most occasions. And when the judge said here that statements made by President Biden about his son Hunter Biden are inconsistent with the case record, that's a very polite and civil way of saying that Joe Biden is either lying or he's making misrepresentations by mistake. But whatever it is, whatever Joe Biden is saying about his son Hunter Biden and his son Hunter Biden's legal problems, it's not accurate, or at least it's not consistent with the trial record or the case record in California. Let's go on to see what else Judge Mark Scarsi has to say about this. Judge Scarsi points out, quote, "For example, the President Biden asserts that Mr. Biden was treated differently from others who were late paying their taxes because of serious addictions, implying that Mr. Biden was among those individuals who untimely paid taxes due to addiction. But he is not. In his pretrial filings, Mr. Biden represented that he was severely addicted to alcohol and drugs through May of 2019. Upon pleading guilty to the charges in this case, however, Mr. Biden admitted that he engaged in tax evasion after, hear what I just said, folks, after this period of addiction by wrongfully deducting as business expense items he knew were personal expenses, including luxury clothing, escort services, and his daughter's law school tuition. And Mr. Biden admitted that he had sufficient funds available to him to pay some or all of his outstanding taxes when they were due, but that he did not make payments toward his tax liabilities even well after he had regained his sobriety, instead electing to spend large amounts or large sums to maintain his lifestyle." Wow. As you can see, Judge Mark Scarsi is not happy with the representations that President Joe Biden was making or made in the press release associated with the pardon itself. But it gets even worse for the Biden family when Judge Scarsi writes the following. Judge Scarsi writes, quote, "According to the president, no reasonable person who looks at the facts of Mr. Biden's cases can reach any other conclusion than Mr. Biden was singled out only because he is the president's son." But Judge Scarsi goes on to say, but two federal judges expressly rejected Mr. Biden's arguments that the government prosecuted Mr. Biden because of his familiar relation to the president. And the president's own attorney general, that's right, and the president's own attorney general and Department of Justice personnel oversaw the investigation leading to the charges. In the president, or in the president's, meaning in Joe Biden, of course, in the president's estimation, this legion of federal civil servants, the undersigned included, are unreasonable people. Woo! Wow. You can see how harsh Judge Scarsi is being now. Of course, he's going to ultimately recognize and dismiss the cases on pardon grounds, but it's pretty clear that he doesn't like the fact that President Biden is trying to rewrite history in a way that's favorable to his son, who I should remind you is an attorney and in his 50s. It's not like he's some 25-year-old kid right out of college doing stupid crap. No, Hunter Biden is in his 50s, right? He's a middle-aged man who's an attorney. So, not a lot of excuses there, right? To be some dumb kid doing dumb stuff when you're that age with those kinds of professional credentials. And it's quite interesting that Judge Mark Scarsi really lays into this and points out that this is an attempt by Joe Biden to rewrite history and people should take notice. This is what he writes next. Judge Scarsi writes, quote, "The Constitution provides the president with broad authority to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States. But nowhere does the Constitution give the president the authority to rewrite history." Powerful language from Judge Mark Scarsi, federal district court judge out there in California, really lambasting not just President Biden, but really indirectly Hunter Biden, pointing out that the record is clear that Hunter Biden deserved everything he got given his behavior and his conduct that violated federal law. Nevertheless, it's very interesting even though I would have thought the federal judge would just say, yeah, the case is dismissed. I'll do what I need to do. I'm not going to care. Instead, the fact that he felt the need to go on the record is really telling that he is concerned that history will be rewritten to forget all the bad doings against and all the evidence against Mr. Hunter Biden by virtue of what his father said. So again, take a look at this opinion down below. This is an order Ray, the notice of pardon. I'll put a link to it in the description below. Check it out. It's very interesting to see a federal judge make these kind of comments about anyone, especially a criminal defendant and the son of the president. All right, folks, hope you enjoyed today's show. Make sure you vote for the Gundys 2025 Top Voices of 2A for the Four Boxes Diner. Make sure you follow me on X at Four Boxes Diner. Feel free to subscribe to this channel and to show it to your friends and send this video around. And I look forward to seeing you all again very soon here at the Four Boxes Diner.
Orders up. Table 2A.